Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the fourth annual Sustainability Summit. My name is Mauricio Soriano, and I am the Sustainability Coordinator at the Office of Sustainability. Now, before I start my presentation, I would like to dedicate this presentation to Angela Townsend. Angela unfortunately passed December 2019, right as we were completing this project. And I would like to dedicate this presentation to her because she played a pivotal role in completing this project. So let's begin. The title of my presentation is Binventories at UCCS. Now I called it Binventories because it's my little play on words with inventory and bins. And in this project, we were looking at the waste bins located in the Kramer Family Library, their location, and what we could do to implement compost while reducing the amount of bins that were in the library. So let's begin. Like I said, the goals of this project were to implement compost in the library in order to increase diversion rate out of the landfill. We also hope to achieve the reduction of the number of bins and the reduction of labor needs to maintain these bins, while also educating the University of Colorado Springs community of what is compostable. Some of the key players of this project were myself and other student employees and staff from the Office of Sustainability, the Kramer Family Library and their Team Green, facility services including custodial staff, planning, design, and construction, and safety services. So why did we choose the library? We chose the library because members of the library Team Green were discussing with Rob McGann about implementing compost. So they kind of already had this idea. But again, the library was very critical because it's also located within the University Center, which houses 3 cafes within the one building. The library is a giant communal area where people either spend their time in between classes, they go to meet friends there, they go to study, hear discussions. So the library is a very good meeting spot. Also, there's a lot of foot traffic through the library since it's located along the spine. It's definitely on a pivotal route to get across campus. So the timeline of this project was, it essentially started in early spring of 2019 when discussions were going on between the Team Green and Rob. I heard of this project maybe late January, early February, and that's kind of when I jumped on board. We performed our first waste audit in April, and then we had ordered and received the bins by July and had them installed by August. And then we concluded by doing a follow-up waste audit in December. To get into more details of how this was conducted, again, we did 2 waste audits, before and after. That included collecting all the waste from a day's worth of collection. So essentially, as an example, we collected all the trash that was accumulated on Tuesday, and then we dumped it out and sorted it all on Wednesday. During the sorting process, we recorded which items were found and which bins that they were initially in and which bins they were supposed to go to. Following those waste audits, we made copies of the floor plan so that we could easily keep track of the location of the waste bins and which direction they were facing and how many they were within the library. Once we had located and identified the waste bins, we coordinated with custodial staff to do a walkthrough of the library in order for them to help us identify which bins were used the most, which ones were used the least, which ones could be removed. And then we went back and revised that floor plan to confirm the locations of where we wanted the bins. And then we did a second walkthrough with Carolyn Fox and Rob Hahn to make sure that our locations were both up to the standards of ADA and fire code. When that was completed and we had approval, we requested a quote. We sent that off to Rob for his final approval before we ordered the bins and then installed. Here's a picture of the floor plan to kind of give you guys an idea of how this process went along. You can see all these different circles, which were the locations that we decided to put the waste bins in. You can see two dashes, one black and one blue. That was just to signify which bins were at that location at that time. You can see there isn't any compost because we didn't have compost yet. So this was probably the floor plan that we used at the beginning of the project. So here are the results of the waste bins. You can see that in April, we started off with 3 bags of trash, 2 bags of recycle. And once sorted, we ended up with 1 bag of trash, 3 bags of recycle, and 1 bag of compost. There's little contamination in the recycling stream, but we saw that the biggest issue were the coffee cups that were in the landfill. About 2/3 of that could have been diverted to compost. During our second waste audit, we had about the same amount of bags, 3 bags of trash, 2 bags of compost, and 1 bag of 3 bags of trash, 2 of recycling, and 1 compost. After they were sorted, we had 2 bags of trash, 2 of recycling, and 3 of compost. We saw that there was an increase in diversion rate to the compost because there's waste in the compost bins, but we still saw that coffee cups were the big issue. And that could just be that there's confusion between which ones are compostable and which ones are not, since the ones that are sold on campus are compostable, but the ones that are sold off campus may not be. So as we looked ahead, we were planning to do the same project in U-Haul, but that kind of got halted because Angie passed and she was leading that project, and also then COVID hit, so we were kind of at a standstill. We were also looking to implement compost in Columbine because both U-Haul and Columbine have cafes, so we were hoping to increase the diversion rate by including those. In conclusion, I just wanted to give a special thanks to my fellow coworkers in the Office of Sustainability. In this picture, we have both Luke and Jamie, and you can see they're putting the compost bins together. I also want to give a special thanks to the Kramer Family Library Team Green for spearheading this project and, you know, continuing to get the ball rolling in order to make sure it was completed. Facility services, custodial staff specifically, because their walkthrough of the library was very important in completion and success of this project. And then lastly, the PIPS team for making those cool QR code stickers that are on the bins, that are also rewarding students with points for recycling and composting. So in the end, I hope you guys were able to learn more about how we got compost into the library and future goals that we have for this project. Thank you.